In this video, we're going to be taking a look at some major changes in the weather that will bring more extreme cold to the United States and even another winter storm. Before we get into this, hit that subscribe button down below, as that is the best way to support me in the channel. But let's go ahead and get right into this. Now, looking at today, you can see currently we have a large area of cold air over most of the United States, and this is bringing cold air across much of the Midwest, down here in the South as well. We just saw another winter storm here in the South that brings some snow and ice down there. But here's what is for the future. As we head forward throughout the rest of this week, you could see we do have some warm air that does a ridge that moves through and brings some slightly warmer air for the end of the week across much of the central United States. But as we head throughout this weekend, starting on Saturday, right after that warm air moves right through, we're going to have a big area of cold air that all of a sudden just pops up here. We're going to have an area of cold air that moves, that just starts to move through about 12 p.m. on Saturday. It gets very noticeably cooler comparing to Friday. And this will only increase over throughout this week. And you see on Sunday, I think it's a lot darker. And Sunday is going to be really cold here. For a lot of these Midwestern states, much of the central United States is going to be seeing much more cooler air here moving throughout Sunday. Going into Monday, this gets a lot darker, especially up there in Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa. He's going to see those really cold temperatures Sunday into Monday, heading to Tuesday. And this is going to be heading throughout much of the eastern United States, as you can see here. And this will bring another potential winter storm with this. That we're going to be taking a look at now. Here's a GFS model with your future radars. It's showing snow, rain, and even freezing rain here. Pretty quiet today. We do have some lake effect snow ongoing across New York, with some snow showers up there in the northwest, some snow in West Virginia, and some rain down there in Florida. But not much otherwise going on. We have some higher pressures over the areas with just some generally chilly temperatures across much of these areas that still see snow, by the way, with that winter storm that just hit, I believe, was on January 5th. And much of those areas that saw those heavy snow amounts are still seeing snow on the ground over a week later from when this storm hit in these areas here. That did see some slightly overperforming amounts with that backside of the winter storm. Still have a lot of that snow on the ground right now. As we move forward throughout later this week, you can see this week is mainly going to be quiet for the weekdays. Weather-wise, we're not going to see much happening. We're managed going to see some cold temperatures, and it's going to get gradually warmer up till Friday, and then Saturday you're going to see that very cold trough starting to move through. But as it's 6 a.m. Saturday, you can start to see a storm popping up here with a lot of rain across these areas that did see snow down here in these more southern areas. Are going to see rain because it's not going to be as cold down here as we saw with the last storm. But you can see some snow with some mix and rain up here in Indiana, Ohio, Michigan. With this next storm, this is going to be this weekend. As we head throughout Sunday, this is not going to be any organized of a storm at all. But you're going to see some snow up here in most of the Northeast. Nothing major. And then, of course, you're going to see that rain down here in the South. So looks like a slightly snowy and rainy weekend for these areas of the United States. But as we head throughout the rest of Sunday, heading to Monday, you can see another storm popping up here. And this looks like a nor'easter for the New England area. You can see snow popping up on 6 p.m. Sunday. And then we get to the start of Monday, which we're starting to see some pretty decent snowfall amounts. This is hitting areas like New Jersey, Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland. Delaware is probably going to see a mix of snow and rain. And this is going to be 6 a.m. of Monday, and you're seeing that snow. This is not going to be a major nor'easter or anything, but it's pretty much got that nor'easter look to it with could definitely see a decent amount of snow for the New England area. New York City is definitely going to see snow, with the majority of Long Island seeing snow. And then we get to about midday Monday. This is going to be going through quite fast. So you get to midday Monday, and this is pretty much still seeing snow for a lot of these areas, but New York City is already done with snow. And this moves out by the evening hours of Monday. And then another storm, which these are all small storms that are popping up here. And according to the GFS model, this is the next day, midday Tuesday. We're seeing another storm here with snow already popping up here in almost southern Texas. And this would bring some very, very rare snow to areas like Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama. This is 12 a.m. Wednesday, and we're seeing snow across the majority of Georgia. It's not going to be a lot of snow, but you're going to see a little bit of snow here for Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, and this really starts to ramp up as we get to 6 a.m. Wednesday, where you're seeing some heavy snow across those coastlines of South Carolina, North Carolina. This would be a very rare snowstorm for Southeast United States. And this is only about 200 hours out from now, so it's going to be next week. And this could definitely change, but this would be a very rare storm for the southeastern United States. And just to be clear, this is the 00Z run. So currently 12Z run is the only run showing that right now, but we still have that storm here, not as widespread, but as you can see, still some rare snow potentially next week that we're seeing in the models here for areas like southern Georgia or South Carolina. Could have the potential for a little bit of snow and ice across some of those areas in the Carolinas and Georgia. So keep an eye on that for next week, as it's a little far out. But the 00Z run does have this winter storm a lot more northward for the 0Z run, and this would bring some more snow to areas like Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. This is going to be over 100 hours out. So again, things will change with the models, but I'll keep you updated with daily videos. And again, that has that storm a lot more northward, but that would bring more snow to more areas like the Midwest, the Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast. And here's the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, and as you can see, that is pretty much 100% chance that you will see below average temperatures across this area from January 19th to the 23rd. Is expected very, very, very cold temperatures across these areas. We're talking single digits or below from the 19th to the 23rd, according to the Climate Prediction Center. And you're only seeing average temperatures in southern Florida and California, pretty much there. The rest of the United States is going to be pretty cold for those days of the 19th and the 23rd. And starting on the 19th, here's your air temperatures in Fahrenheit. This is 12 a.m. Sunday, so these are your lows, and you're seeing lows of negative single digits up here in the northern United States. You're seeing lows of teens and 20s over here across these areas. Again, it's winter, so these are honestly kind of normal temperatures, except for Texas, where you're seeing those teens, lows and teens and 20s over here in Oklahoma and Texas. But as we move forward, you're gonna see this cold move southward, and this is gonna be your low of Monday, where those lows start to plummet, and you're seeing lows of single digits across here, lows of negative 20s up here in the Dakotas, and this cold front continues to move southward from Sunday to Monday, where you're starting to see lows of 20s and teens over here in the Mid-Atlantic. The southern United States is starting to see lows of 20s as well. Where you're seeing highs on Monday of single digits across the board over here, and those highs of 30s across the board on the southern United States as well. Move forward, and it continues to get colder. On Tuesday, you're going to see highs of single digits close to 0 degrees across this area of the United States, so the Midwest, the Mid-Atlantic, over there in the Central Plains as well. Anywhere northward is going to see even colder temperatures. As you can see, those pinks are negative 20s and have highs, but South Dakota, Minnesota is pretty used to that, especially if you live up there during the winter time. But that is a little colder than what they're used to on a normal day in the winter. But the South, as you can see, is seeing highs of 40s. Not terrible down there, and lows of looking like negative teens over here in the Midwest, and lows of 20s down there in the South on Tuesday to Wednesday. You get to Wednesday, and we're still seeing those highs of teens across the Midwest. You're seeing 20s as you head further south, and then 30s in those Gulf states. Your highs on Wednesday, and then the lows are pretty much the same, but you're still seeing some colder temperatures, the lows of teens over here in Ohio on Wednesday through Thursday. And then we move forward to see those highs get up to teens, getting a little slightly warmer, especially for the Central Plains. And then that cold is going to move into the Northeast for a late week next week. If you did enjoy the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Share this video with any friends or family that may want the latest details on the latest weather pattern. Like the video and leave a comment down below if you have any questions and where you're from. But as always, I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.